By the time you guys see this video, I'll be on a boat in the middle of one of the largest lakes in the world. And that is for a bit of a celebration, actually. I'm getting married. And it's a bit of a crazy experience. I'll be quite honest. I sort of hemmed and hawed about making sort of an update video regarding the channel, but I feel like after the success of last week and sort of recalibrating a bit of my expectations and receiving some absolutely incredible messages, I really felt like I should make a video regarding where I see myself moving forward. Because I'll be honest, I feel a sort of responsibility. It's a responsibility not only to hopefully put out good creative things for you, the viewer, things that you find entertaining, but also informative. But more than that, I would hope that I also demonstrate a good role model to everybody. And that's something that I think some YouTubers maybe either forget about or don't rightly consider. I have about 5,000 subscribers on this channel. I haven't even had it for a year yet. And that's just astounding to me. The fact that over this last week where I did a video per day for the entire week, we gained like 1,000 subscribers in 1 week. That is insane. That's a lot of people. And for all I know, those could be younger kids that are more impressionable. They could be people that are a bit older in my age bracket who are looking for a little slice of sanity on the internet, and they found me. I don't know your situation. You could be going through something horrible. You could be in the best place of your life when you find my videos. And that's very sobering. So I think you need a little bit of background about me so you can understand why I find that so important. And we'll get to my channel. Don't worry about that. Just stick around with me just for a minute or two. So I've already sort of alluded to this on other videos on my channel, but I'm in the field of medicine. I'm actually a PA. So for those uninitiated individuals, PA means physician assistant. I believe federally it recently got changed to physician associate because there was some legality reasons about where we can practice with or without a medical doctor supervising, etc. But to the point of, I've been doing this now for 5 years, more or less, 4 years full-time practicing, but another year strictly of just hands-on medical training, literally for a year straight. So I've really been doing this for basically 5 years at this point. And I've seen a lot of stuff, guys. Like, it's humbling. Once you finally get out and you understand what people actually go through, it really snaps you back to reality. I know that's not meant to be a joke. It really does snap you back to reality. Just to list a few things that I've done either in my training or in my practice, I have held a human heart in my hand as we did a heart replacement that the family luckily successfully lived through. And I got to experience the family before being in dire straits about the prospects of the very likely chance that their family member is going to die during this procedure. And then the very positive outcome of watching the family go home with this person. That was incredible. That's the only way I can put it. It's incredible. I have held family members when their loved ones have died. I've seen them through some of the worst times. I have given terminal diagnoses for things like cancer. I have unfortunately had to assist some parents through the death of their children. It's a lot. You know, in my training multiple times during chest compressions on individuals, both old and young, we've had to call it. And unfortunately, I'm literally standing there on top of this person as we realize that they're dead. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is through medicine and through the training and then also the practice, it grounds you in a way that I think some people will never have the capability of understanding unless they have gone through similar types of loss. And there's the Stoic proverb, memento mori, which is basically be mindful of death and live your life as if you are keeping death in mind, meaning you're always thinking about, what if I were to die today? Would I be happy with where I'm at? Would I be happy with where I've come from, etc.? And I think I can say yes, finally. And I think I can say yes because I've finally reached a point in my life where I feel like I have the knowledge to sort of give back to people And I think that that, for me at least, is the ultimate form of compassion in some ways, which is giving yourself, being able to be open for other people to sort of consume you, I guess, is a good way to put it, I suppose. And really thinking about my future with my own family, like having children of my own, for instance, is such a sobering experience because you will have to give so much of yourself. And that pertains to the channel, that pertains to you, because I have always wanted to do something with YouTube. I had another channel that got to like 1,000 subs. I did a variety of like video game content, but I didn't find that particularly fulfilling in the same sort of way that I do with this type of content, this production of Magic the Gathering stuff. I've also posted on one of my own sort of private accounts. It was more of like a personal look into my life, vlog style sort of thing, but that also didn't feel quite right. And I think that the element that was really missing from both of those, on my end at least, is that it's not just entertainment, it's also education. I was missing the component of education. So in the same way in my medical practice, how I feel very fulfilled when I bring people in and I can actually teach them something useful, when I can get a PA student, an NP student, and I can open their eyes to something and I can show them that this is how it really is. Or I can take one of those same students and walk them through the tragedies that this person has been through, this patient that we're seeing has been through, and how they have developed with me as I've walked with them through these problems. That's really been quite incredible to me. It's probably one of the most rewarding things that I've really ever done in my life. And it's sort of a natural track for a lot of people, especially in medicine. You eventually get to the point where you are teaching other people. That is very common. It's not something that is frowned upon. It's almost expected in many circumstances, where that we have this phrase in medicine that some of you are probably aware of. You see one, which is you watch somebody do whatever it is. Maybe it's a nasogastric tube or a suture on somebody, etc. You see one, you do one yourself. So you actually sit down, you do one, and then you teach it to the next person, because quite frankly, it's intimidating to be doing these things. So I have been thrust into this world wholeheartedly over the last probably 7 years of my life, but really 5 years of hands-on training and also my own personal practice. And I think it's really illuminated to me that the teaching portion, actually sitting down and giving back to the community in different ways. In this way, it is me talking to a camera and expressing my deck builds in a way that I feel are healthy for the community, is really invigorating for me. And I haven't felt burnt out, most importantly. So this is a long build up to me basically saying that this channel is changing. So it's changing in ways not in the MatPat style where I'm going to be going away and I'm going to be totally stepping down. That's not it at all. There's some things that I have to go over with you regarding sort of the future longevity of the channel that I think are necessary to put into their own video. That way it's condensed for you to just view here. As I mentioned before, I think that this last week, where I've gained literally a quarter of my subscriber count just in the last week alone, has really demonstrated a few things for me. One is increased uploads do result in increased sort of productivity within the channel. But also there are certain types of content that tend to work better in the MTG space right now. Namely, things like topic videos, for instance, seem to work really well. And also, in a lot of ways, it's reaffirmed for me that what people are really looking for is more of a personal connection to the people that are playing the game or are sitting down and talking to the person, just like I'm doing right now with you. It's that personal connection. And I think that a lot of these shows have, and by shows, I mean specifically the game night style type of videos, have sort of lost their luster because they are more produced. It's not so personal. It's almost like you're not a fly on the wall necessarily. It's almost like you're watching a major motion picture. And I think that for a lot of people is not what they're looking for anymore, which that sort of guides me into my thinking for the future material that I'm going to be doing for this channel. But before I dive into the very specific changes that are going to be happening, and I have one really exciting one actually to let you know about, I want to talk about basically the next 2 months of my life. So This is going to be the remainder of July and also most of August. So, as I said at the beginning here, I'm getting married, and it's pretty crazy. It's really resetting my brain, but it's also extremely stressful. There's a lot going on in the background. I had to make a few notes here. So, in August is when I'm finally tying the knot. I'm actually going to be going to Pennsylvania to do that. So I'm going to be out of state even. So I have to travel for my wedding. I am also currently in the process of taking French courses right now because we are going to be traveling over to France once we are done with the actual wedding itself. I actually knew a lot of French, but I've forgotten pretty much most of it because I haven't used it in many years. So I'm refreshing that. So I'm doing courses on the side with a private tutor. I am coordinating some new material that actually I think is going to be of higher quality moving forward because I'm actually getting editors to help me with the scripts of the show. And the editors, by the way, are my friends. I'm not like hiring professional people for this, even though they are professional people in their own aspects. They are not editors, but they are Magic the Gathering people, and I trust them. So I've onboarded them to sort of help me edit my scripts, especially for my topic-driven videos, which we're going to go over in a second. And I think that that's going to really result in a lot of better outcomes, but it's also resulted in a bit of a what's the right word for this? Sort of a change in the pipeline for my material, because now all of a sudden I have to have it go through other hands. I have to have other people look at it before I can put it out to the world. And all of this is to say that I have a lot going on in the background. There's script writing and French prep and prep for the marriage and all these appointments and parties in the background leading up to the wedding, getting ready for the wedding itself, traveling for that. It's a lot, which is all to say there's going to be probably a decrease in uploads over this next month and a half or so, but there's light at the end of the tunnel for you guys who are watching the channel, and I really want to encourage you to stick around because I have some exciting things coming. So as I alluded to, we're going to be doing more topic style videos, and I hate to sort of do the standard white background style of thumbnail. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I've done them on my channel. And let's be honest with ourselves, that is more or less a ripoff from Salubrious Snail. It's a shameless ripoff because, quite frankly, it works extremely well. For some reason, people and the algorithm are pushing those types of thumbnails to the general audience, which results in more people seeing my material. And I want more people to see my material. So I'm going to be producing those style of thumbnail, but it's not going to change. I'm not going to be doing MS Paint or PowerPoint presentations or anything like that, like the other folks do. And that's not a knock against them. It's a stylistic choice. So my style is this, sitting down and speaking with you in front of the camera. That is pretty much never going to change, barring a few specific circumstances. So I would encourage you to stick around for those, as I have some really interesting ones coming. And I have 2 completed scripts, more or less. One of them is mostly through the process of being edited and broken down. The other one I am still finalizing to then send to my friends to edit. But we're going to be doing more of those style of videos in addition to the deck tech style things as well. And that's just really exciting for me because it's a different variance in content, which makes it more actually worthwhile for me, I would say, to complete, because it reaches a wider audience of people to see the material. But it also allows me to sort of put my own spin on things, because there's many times where channels will cover, other than me, of course, will cover a specific topic, and I feel like they're leaving things out, and I sort of want to voice my own opinion. And this allows me to actually do that in a coherent manner for you. And yes, I'm taking everyone's advice from last time. I'm going to be putting the script above the camera again. It's just a pain. I have stuff I have to do in the background logistically in order to set it up, so I'm not constantly, looking down at my phone or whatever as I'm reading the script through. But that is all a work in progress, and that will be coming very soon with the next topic video, probably coming sometime next week, like this upcoming Friday. So I would look forward to either Friday or Saturday of this week, another upload of a topic-driven video. But let's talk about the really sort of exciting news, and that's going to be the release of a new gameplay show. So I have been working in the background actually with my fiance, but by the time we actually air our first episode, we will have been married. So my wife, Allie, and you've actually seen Allie on the channel before. We did one other gameplay style video on the channel, but that was a really heavy lift. I incorporated live components of me going to the store and finding cards, and then cutting in between to also like spin my wheel of pain, which you guys can see right back there. I think. Yes. And other elements to the video, which made it genuinely very difficult for me to edit, piece together, and make a quality product all within a timely manner. That's not going to happen. I simply can't continue doing that because it's going to literally kill me in order to edit that. Like that video, I think took me like 20 hours to edit, which is just unbelievable. Like I have so many other things, like irons in the fire, all for that video to get like 700 views or whatever. So we're not going to be doing that. But the Commander Show, I plan on being more casual, a little bit more impersonal, or that's not the right word. Personal is the right word. A little more casual, a little bit more personal. So that's the plan moving forward. We're going to be doing that, and we're going to title it Commander Showdown. I think that that sort of encapsulates what we want to do. We just want to get some fun decks together and just run some games with people. And I think that there is definitely room to expand this into other formats, like maybe Canadian Highlander, for instance, or doing smaller like tabletop Magic style things. I would love to turn the channel somewhat also into a streamable type of experience that people can watch. So watching one-on-one format with, for instance, like the Canadian Highlanders of the world, or maybe we do like a Jumpstart product or something and we can live stream that to people, especially once my friends who are going to be very important for the show's progression moving forward come on and you sort of familiarize yourself with them as well. And I think you'll love everybody that I bring on. I will also throw out there, this is a bit of a conversation piece, more so among like the creator groups. You may have recently seen from Quintessential MTG, he put out a video basically stating that because of his location being in Singapore, it's resulted in a lot of issues where he can't really get bigger name people out on the show to boost the popularity of said show. And that's a struggle because I don't think you guys understand how long it takes to produce, meaning like actually set up, film, mic people. Maybe there's audio issues, so there's troubleshooting involved throughout the process, filming, making sure that the cameras aren't running out of batteries and resetting them, because unless you want to spend an arm and a leg, a camcorder is generally not an option most of the time unless you can afford that through like your Patreon, etc. More reason to support me in the description down below. And at the end of all that, you get a product that tends to not be viewed by as many people because you don't have one of those larger names involved. Enter the likes of Josh Lee Kwai or Post Malone or literally any other famous person that's been on game nights. More or less, the inability to have those people on the show has capped the ability of Quintessential MTG to really expand the audience in a way that he would like. And unfortunately, we are going to run into probably a little bit of a similar situation because I plan on having my friends involved pretty much exclusively for the time being, with the intent to rotate guests. So it's always going to be myself and then my wife, Allie, doing the show as the prime sort of show runners, if you will, sort of like Olivia Gobert Hicks. And then also, what's the Dragon Master's name again? Brian Kibler, I think. So it's going to be basically a similar concept to that, with bringing two guests on every time. And there is going to be some limit to what we can actually accomplish because of our inability to get guests out here, because we live, quite frankly, on the opposite side of the country. We live out in New York, and that poses a lot of issues to get people out here from like LA, for instance, because flights aren't cheap, guys, to get people all the way out here in a timely manner and also house them and feed them. You name it, it's an issue. So for the time being, it's just going to be my immediate friend group. And I know that that's going to have an impact on viewership. People are probably not clicking on the video for their faces, right? They're going to be clicking on the video by happenstance most of the time. So this is your call to action to really consume those videos like when they come out and give us genuine feedback as to how we can sort of improve the process moving forward, because for a long time, most likely, at least for the next year to 2 years as we're producing the show, it's going to just be friends of mine, more or less, that I think are going to be good or comfortable on camera or have interesting decks or interesting personalities, etc. But I need a little bit of faith from you guys. I need you guys to believe in the mission as much as I believe in the mission. And I think that we can do that. If we can sort of come out the gate with like a good 1,000 views per episode or more, I think that the show will genuinely have legs to reach sort of the greater heights that are sort of at stake moving forward, because I really want to propose that we can make this a possibility just with, let's call them nameless people, which is not really appropriate, but that's the best thing that I can think of off the top of my head. People who are not celebrities or well known in this space. We can make it happen, I think, but I need your faith and your viewership, please. So that's really it. So those are the two big ones. So we're going to be doing topic videos. We're going to be doing a new Commander show, which I think is going to be great for you guys. And I'm going to be looking, of course, into the future to fully expand into other things like live streams where we're doing more gaming. I also plan on resuming some live streams where we do like game nights bingo. That was a blast. So I really want to do more of that, but that's going to come after the wedding is done. So I wouldn't look forward to these major changes happening probably until about mid to late September, if not early October, for the first episodes to sort of air. But afterwards, we're going to really sort of go hard and hopefully produce a video a week would be great. But I'm probably going to just aim for a video every other week in terms of gameplay, because I don't want to really pigeonhole myself into once a week and then run into issues. And this is my last thing. If you are somebody who is a Magic the Gathering aficionado, somebody who loves MTG, but also is good at editing, hit me up. Send me an email. It's going to be right here on screen. I'm looking for ideally somebody to partner with so that way we can produce really high quality gameplay videos. I can control a lot of things, as you can see around me. I feel like I've got quite good at lighting and the audio side of things. I've bought all sorts of rigs so that way we can properly film the material. But the editing process is going to eat me alive, I think, if I try to do everything on my own. So I would really love somebody's assistance who loves the channel, who knows sort of my passion and my style, and can really embrace that moving forward to turn this show into hopefully something bigger. And that's really it. I don't have too much more to go over on my end. I really want to thank you. If you got all the way through to the end of this video, thank you for being here. Like, genuinely, thank you. It's crazy to me that people a year ago on this platform by happenstance would click on my face because I posted about a popular commander or whatever. And I still have people 9 months later who are a part of sort of that initial group sending me emails or talking to me on Patreon, link in the description below. It's really amazing. I want to do so much for this community. I really want to encourage everybody to have better and more games of Commander, and I think we're doing it. Quite honestly, I think we are. I also plan on attending Magic Cons and other Magic events, and ideally I would love to put on some of my own in the future, to be completely transparent with you, but that's going to require a bit of time and a bit more reach. So we're not going to put the cart ahead of the horse yet. Let's focus on, the gameplay stuff, but I would love to go to more events and of course bring my wife. That would be incredible. So that way we can all sort of mingle and play some games in person. I would love that. But until then, it's going to be some more of this here, and I hope you guys stick around for it. So if you'd like to, subscribe to the channel so we can make that a reality. I know there were some sections of this video that were a little bit heavier than maybe you were asking for, and it's me, man. That's who I am. I feel like I am somebody that squarely falls into that type of category, who looks at life deeply with appreciation for what it has the capability of allowing us. And I want us all to get there in some way, shape, or form. So stick around for the channel, subscribe to the channel, share it with your other friends if you feel like that's going to benefit them, and if you like the material on here. And guys, I'll see you really soon for another video. It's going to be next week, or this upcoming week by the time I release it, this upcoming Friday or Saturday. So stick around for that. You're not going to want to miss it. And wish me luck this upcoming month. Oh, I'm nervous. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.